Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. A lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you. I know that life outside is so hard. There's a lot of things that can tear you apart. I know the road sometimes feel lonely, but remember you're not the one and lonely. There's always someone there to help you, a helping hand to pull you through. There's only one thing you should do: take my hand and join the Love and Laugh crew. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then let love and life guide you.
Goeienaand! Good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome to this night's live stream with Dr. Gavin Scrooby from Boereligion, and not only Boereligion, and an alliance of groups which we're going to be talking about tonight, so you can get an idea of what's actually happening out there. We'll obviously be talking about other things. Now, you've met Gavin before. We had him on about a week ago, but we're going to go into some discussion about some of the recent developments, things like the situation with food parcels for the impoverished whites in the squatter camps is obviously one thing that we're talking about, and also an update on how Isaac is. So without, and that's Isaac van Zyl, who leads the Boereligion. Without any further ado, let me get Gavin up and we'll get the show on the road. Hi, Gavin.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Excellent, mate. Good to see you again.
Good, man. Oh,
Hey.
looks like you can't get rid of me.
Well, I wish we could see you. I can't see you on the camera. Can you just do what you did last time to get the camera back up?
That should be start video call. Okay, how's that?
Let's see.
Okay, there we go. I see my camera.
Now I see you. That's much better. Okay, fantastic. All right. Let's kick this show off by saying, in your view, what is the ANC up to right now with some of the things that have happened in recent days?
Scott, all that I can say, they're playing all the dirty tricks. If you look at the first thing now, they contravening the Geneva Convention as well by, thank you, by what they've actually done now is they've gone and prevented us whites from donating food to our white underprivileged families that we've got at the moment.
Right.
There's a lot of talk now at the moment where food parcels have been picked up and confiscated by the SAP or via the ANC and distributed to their people.
Right.
But there's a lot of it going around now. Again, now we got a lot of truth on one side and we got a lot of lies on the other side.
Okay.
So
now before Gavin, we'll get into that in a second. Just tell me what the Geneva Convention says about this.
Well, look, you got the right to defend yourself. You got the right to defend your household, and of course, then you've got the right to defend your food and your food security and all that sort of thing as well. So they are. If we just look at those parts, what are they actually doing? Now, if we take South Africa is supposed to be part of the a democratic society,
right?
But they just seems to be changing the laws left, right, and centre to suit themselves.
Now,
it's
one simple question is, where are the media? I'm talking about the overseas media, because they're not talking about this.
Scott, this is very difficult. Yes, I want to say the same. Where are they? Because it seems that there's like a certain media blackout towards whites and a very pro for the blacks. So we've just had a discussion this weekend with the Alliance and certain people of the Alliance that when we do things from now on, we're going to have an independent guy. Even if he's professional or non-professional, makes no difference, that can start taking video footage of us from a distance to see what is actually going on. And this stuff we want to start pushing out. So if the international people don't want to assist us, then we'll do it ourselves and push it out internationally. That's the only other way we can do it.
Well, what I'd like to say to everybody on the side chat is, please, guys, you've all got mobile phones, you've all got video capability. Please, if you see something that the ANC are doing that is wrong, please film it and send it to me, and I will make them famous, as I say. Okay, sorry, back to you, Gavin. So with the media.
Yeah, so a lot of the media now that's happening now is you got a lot of false stuff that's coming through, and then of course you got a lot of positive stuff coming through. But it's now got to a stage where we, within our organization nationwide, we are actually earmarking our sort of department heads in that areas to go out and verify the stuff now themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is verified and a lot of stuff is just a lot of bull.
Well, I have to be so careful with what I report on, because I get so much, and when I get something that sounds real but it's unsubstantiated, I make sure that right through the video I say this is unsubstantiated, because if you don't report on it and it's real and it's really bad, then it's a dereliction of duty, because people need to know what's happening. But then if it turns out to be false, boy, do I get flack. It's crazy.
Well, Scott, you're sitting in the same boat I'm in.
Yeah.
If it comes up negative, let me tell you something, I'll get it in the neck as well. But we're relying on public to be honest.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me. You taking footage of 2 years ago, what they done, and now coming to edit it bit, and with these computers today, you can do weird things. And what are you achieving by it at the end of the day? You're just causing panic worldwide, all over the show. And I mean, I say worldwide because there's a lot of expats. Australia's full. They've got family here. They know what is happening.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we've got to clamp down on. And if it is the government doing it, why are they doing it, and what's the hidden agenda behind it? This is what I see. So why are they causing all this pandemic and during this lockdown, and obviously they're doing something underground that we're not aware of. So the more we get it out that there is something happening here, but we just can't nail it down at the moment. I mean, you mentioned the other night about that company called Plus.
Yes.
Now we're trying to search for this company, and we're coming up with zeros now at the moment. And believe me, if we do get all of it, and it is the truth, I tell you, I think they mustn't even have time to have their visas approved. They must get out now while they can.
Well, it's not just Plus, there are other people as well. Where you actually start with this, Gavin, is you go and find out who the advisors are in each government department, like health, like defense or whatever, and find out where those people who are actually advising the ministers come from. I mean, their CVs, and in there, I can guarantee you'll find that there'll be a lot of people who are previously with the Open Society Foundation, and they're the guys who are actually drawing up the policy for the ANC that's then read into law in Parliament. Correct.
You see, brings us down to another thing now. What is my job, Scott? You know what I do.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
You got a problem, you come with some sort of ailment or whatever the case may be, I'll fix you. This is where we need international people to come in that can delve, because journalists have got a funny way of worming their way into everything, and it'll just be nice to get some journalists that come in that speak the truth, and there's a lot of them that have come in that speak in the truth and actually lived with the farmers and stuff that were murdered and stuff, and look where they are today. They're ridiculed.
Yeah.
But yet we can verify everything on black and white.
Yeah.
We got a very famous lawyer here with Project Survivor, Willie Jordan. He runs all that.
I know Willie well.
Yeah, he's a fantastic lawyer.
Yeah.
We also got the Patriot for Minerator. We got some fantastic guys there as well. And we also got to be so careful how you work, because today, if it doesn't suit them, they just smack you into jail. Now, I don't mind doing the time for my people, but it must be justified at the end of the day, and we must have the right and correct info that we can push outside to show the rest of the world this is what's happening. But I think all the countries today have got so many problems of their own. They just can't be bothered. I mean, I know Australia, for one, was very eager to take farmers in, and the next minute they blocked it. So what are they gaining out of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to see the genocide carry on? But look, let me tell you something. You can call it a genocide if you want to, but I can guarantee you, the way things are going now, we're in such a pressure cooker now.
Yeah.
I am actually feeling myself for what could happen tomorrow. But let me tell you something. The anger is there.
Yeah. Well, I should just tell you that I'm on a hunger strike. I've actually been without food now for nearly a day, and I'm on the videos. People will be able to see what is happening to white South Africans, and it's just a way that I can visually demonstrate what is going on in South Africa and make that point, because it's absolutely disgraceful that the world media are just looking the other way. It reminds me so much of what happened in 1939, when the world looked the other way. And look what happened then. And it's not going to happen again, because there are groups like yours that will make sure that it doesn't happen again. But what happens if they start trying to round up white people like they did back in the 1930s with the Jews? I mean, what would the response be of groups like yours if they started trying to do that?
Scott, I see where you're going with this thing. Okay, we're not exactly the same as what Germany was at the time, but we're not going to sit back and let it happen. We are more than prepared at the present moment. And with the alliances that we brought in, it's actually, I think the government was hoping that we would be pushed apart. But actually what we've been doing now is we've been working on alliances to get everybody under one umbrella.
Right.
Although you got your small little sections, you still have, like us for argument's sake, Executive Tacmed, which forms part of the umbrella in the medical and tactical side of it, that fall in with them. We're not going to lie back. This is going to get ugly, and I can promise you now.
Yeah.
I mean, as quick as what your F counter can go into the red, this is how this thing is going to escalate in this country. We're not going to stand back. We got people that we're holding back already, saying, "Listen, whoa."
On that very point, can you give people advice regarding how they should handle things? Because I know some people tend to be a bit trigger happy. What's your advice to people who watch this video?
Simple. Scott, I think it's all a mindset, this whole thing. So what a person's got to do is be cool, calm, and collective at the end of the day. Rationalize. Put yourself into that position and say, right, fine, I'm here now at the moment, what am I going to do? I think what a person's got to do is that initial minute that this thing decides to escalate, we turn around and say, right, fine, we're in this thing, there's nothing we can do about it now. Now what we must do is some mental state, we've got to calm down, and I always say to the guys, stop, breathe and think.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you're not going to react out of anger or whatever the case may be. You're going to slowly, somehow, you're going to sort of play through your mind and then get some sort of sense of normality back, that over that initial shock period that a person goes through. Okay, I'm no psychologist, but, but just simply stop, breathe, and think what is actually happening.
Right.
You can actually achieve a lot. But there again, with all this negative publicity, what are they doing? The only thing I can see it is they're putting it in, they're driving the whites to a point, and I suppose that's happening on the other side as well, where you're getting so flared up and so angered, that this is what's happening to our people. Deny people food, take people food parcels away. All right, take food parcels away from me. I don't mind. I'm a man. I can adapt. But take food parcels away from innocent kids. It's got nothing to do with politics. Regardless what you are, no kid should suffer.
Well, just on that point, I'd put up a video tonight. Wynand Klaassen, who's the manager of the Abraham Kriel Children's Home at Nailstrom, he's appealing desperately for funds because no one can deliver food. They've got 170 children there. This is happening right now in South Africa, and no one is talking about it.
Scott, I'm talking about it now, and I hope it gets out, and I hope the people that are listening to this internationally, that what we are saying now is not falling on deaf ears. But what I can say is it starts off like a small baby pushing the boundaries. And this is what we've been doing. And we've constantly said, okay, carry on. Now it's getting to a stage now where they're saying, well, we pushed them this far. Let's push them over the edge. They've started off with that solidarity fund.
Yeah.
They've locked us down. I, as a doctor, can't see patients because people were informed just before lockdown. If you feel ill in any way, phone a doctor. So what have they done there now? They've already cut our throats. Yet we handle this stuff on a daily basis.
Right.
Number two, as a white now, there are numerous whites. And then last time we had this conversation, how many white doctors were in this country that that's not allowed to practice in here? That have done the training internationally.
Okay, now I just want to cover that because I'm actually talking to several of them now. And we're looking at putting a live stream on hopefully later this week, with 2 or 3 of them on at the same time who've been through this situation. And it's interesting because we've got a couple of African doctors who are actually in this position as well. So we'll be probably having them on. But
Yes.
clearly the majority of doctors that are impacted are Indians and white doctors who cannot get or who cannot practice in South Africa.
Correct. But people can come in from Cuba, 200 of them.
Yeah, that's right.
At what cost? At 3 times our cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same with Eskom. They won't take our people here, but they'll bring people internationally that don't understand the system, they don't understand how anything works, and they pay 3 to 4 times the amount of what it is. I can understand why Eskom is the way it is. I can understand why SAA is gone the way it is. You've got a whole lot of uneducated barbarians that's sitting in controlling this country that don't have a cooking clue how to work with money, number one. And what I can't figure out, the rest of the world can see what's happened. I mean, come on, let's just take the Zumas. Let's take the Guptas. But yet international people will keep on funding them.
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong here.
Yeah.
I mean, if Scott, if you can take your last bit of savings out of your account and go and invest it in somewhere, and you see, whoa, this is not going where you think it's going. What are you going to do? You're going to leave it, or you're going to go and withdraw your money?
Yeah.
No, you're going to go withdraw your money at the end of the day, because what happens?
Yeah.
You're going to lose it. This is what's happening here. People know it.
Well, I see in the side chat that someone says that 1.2 million euros was just promised by Ramaphosa to fight COVID-19. Where is South Africa going to get that sort of money?
That's a joke. I don't know where they're going to get this money from. I mean, as it is now, I mean, they can't even pay the unemployment.
Yeah.
Like as promised. The food parcels that they promised to everybody is not getting out to everybody. So what do? This is an ideal opportunity. Will you look, the whites are go and take their stuff and pass it to our people. At least when this thing is finished now and we can stand down and this lockdown is finished, they can really say, well, look, we're having another election now. Just remember who supported you in food. Who took the food away from whites and gave it to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to empower them so that they get the votes back again.
Yeah.
But I think they've cooked the goose this time, personally. But I've been wrong with that many a times.
Well, I can tell you that one of my subscribers lives in Pietermaritzburg, and he Skypes me from time to time. And he told me that, he loves Pietermaritzburg. He's been there for a long time, but he's leaving because he says there's anarchy in the streets now in Pietermaritzburg. He says all the shops have been looted. He says that he's going to move down to Somerset West in the Cape because he says it's impossible to live there anymore if you're a white person. It's just absolutely crazy.
You know, Scott, you talk like that now. You know, remember in the old days, Durban used to be the last British outpost, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm basically thinking now that the Cape area is going to be the last white post at the end of the day, where we can go down and reunite and form part of this alliance and try and live out the rest of our lives with a bit of, with dignity that we still got left.
Right.
But, I think there's a lot planned for the stuff, and I can basically say to you now, if we've still got another 3 months before anything really cracks down, then I'm giving it a lot of time, because I'm sure things, the way it's going now, within the next 2 weeks, it's going to be clamped down seriously. And I think the shit's going to hit the fan very soon.
Right.
I mean, number one, they've taken liquor away and they've taken cigarettes away. So if you've got, let's face facts. A lot of people enjoy their drink and they calm down. A lot of people enjoy them smoking and they calm down. Now you take that away now, so the stress level's already built up. So what do I get now every day? Every day I get certain phone calls. They can't handle it. They want to commit suicide. And there's a lot of people that want to commit suicide now. So you're constantly trying to prescribe things for people just to be able to cope, to get through the day. And if we're not even talking about the rest of the lockdown. And it's becoming very difficult. So what happens now? They've been taken to court because what right do they have to actually take your smoke away?
Yeah.
They take your drink away, take your smoke away. Tomorrow they take your food away.
Yeah. Well, they're doing that now.
Thank you.
They're doing that now.
So where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
But yet, if we start this war, what do we look like? We look like pre-apartheid flipping government again.
I think what we got to do first is get the world to understand what is happening in South Africa, because the media aren't reporting on it. If they understand what's happening, they will get it. Now, a couple of people in the side chat here said I should stop my hunger strike. I'm not going to. And I can tell you why, because I have already been told that News Limited, which is the biggest media organization in Australia, are going to be reaching out to me shortly, and that'll give me an opportunity to put them in the right direction to find out what is actually going on in South Africa. Now, if I can create that sort of publicity for the cause, you know, that then I've achieved what I'm setting out to achieve, and that's the bottom line. Just talking about the side chat, we've got about 800 people watching at the moment. And welcome everybody. Good to have you here. We're just having a very informal discussion with Gavin about what's going on in South Africa. Gavin is a very senior member of an alliance. Now, do you want to talk to us about the alliance? Break it down into what you've actually got happening there.
Okay, I don't want to go into too much depth, Scott. And
sure,
I think
but whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay, but basically what happens is you have all these groups, and out of those groups you have splinter groups. People have joined organizations,
right.
For argument's sake, like the Boerelegioen. People have broken away and they've gone on. You know, people always have there's always differences between people. And so what's actually happened, and they've gone and joined little groups and stuff like that, and that's happened. And of course, in South Africa, you've got some major big role players.
Right.
And they've got the numbers behind him with the whites organizations and stuff like that. So what's actually happened is they've now, with the alliance, we've got this massive big umbrella now, where it used to be a normal umbrella you'd use for every day, and now it's become a real sun umbrella that you use outside for the family at the end of the day. You've got all these little groups that joined the one alliance. So basically, it's made your mouth a little bit bigger now, because you've got the people behind you. You don't have 1,000 people, and now you've got 30,000, 40,000 people behind you. Now you can start voicing your opinion, because you have the people, you have the power behind you, you have the fighting power behind you. Because let me tell you something: most of the people that are like myself, ex-veterans.
Right.
And you know, we're the last stand. Who do we give this fight to next to? So let us stand and carry on. I don't want a war. I hate war. There's no winners in war.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, Scott. If it's got to come down now, then so be it. Let it be. But I just don't want the whites to be the one to fire the first shot.
Yeah.
It must come from their side. It must be documented, so that we can take to the rest of the world and say, "Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You aided these people. You housed these people. You educated these people, because they were the oppressed. And now it's just reverse racism. So where are you in for now?" So they can't fall back, because let me tell you something. All these guys in this country that are senior politicians in the ANC and that sort of stuff all took drama at school. So they are very quick to turn this whole scenario around to say, well, you know, for years we've been telling you the whites are the problem and you've been blaming us. Now look here. They can play the victim, man. And you know what the funny thing about it, from Southern Africa to the northern tip of Africa, the mentality is all the same. And the barbaric styles that they go, man, look, you've seen the pictures, what come out now at the moment, how they kill farmers.
Just awful.
Go in, kill a person, it's fine.
Yeah.
Go in and do what they do and gang rape an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah, it's just shocking.
You know, that sort of stuff. Burn the skin off her feet with a blowtorch.
Oh, No. I mean, I just can't
That's
imagine.
come
It's
on.
just awful.
What are you working on? Now you want to come and tell me, now you get the human rights that come in. This is where our biggest problem comes in.
Yeah.
The flipping human rights things. Whatever they want to call themselves.
And
They think. They don't know what they're talking about.
yeah. And
By quoted doing all these things, he's got rights.
yeah.
The poor person died has got no rights.
Yeah, that's right.
But then and now you get into a crossfire with this guy. I get shot and he gets shot. Okay? I am at least fortunate. I've got a medical aid. I can go to hospital. I don't have a medical aid. Where do I end up? In a state's hospital. But because he was shot, he goes through to the private hospital and gets the best care under the world.
Yeah.
That's human rights.
Yeah, no, it's just
And then
shocking.
of course you do a 16-year jail sentence and within 4 years they're out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
Something seriously wrong with this whole system, man.
I think the ANC are trying to cause a bit of a distraction, as you said. We'll get to the food parcels in a second, because I think their big issue or their big problem that they're facing right now is that their voter base, the Africans, are full of the ANC, because they're now starting to understand that, you know, the fat cats, the black privilege, the members of parliament, their mates, their family, they're all doing incredibly well. They are so corrupt and so incompetent, yet they are making billions of rands, while the rest of black Africa is just being trampled into the ground. And I think that message is starting to get out there, and I think the ANC are very concerned that, you know, their voter base might turn on them. And I don't mean just by not voting for them, but by actually physically turning on them. And I think what they're doing now by withholding these parcels from white squatter camps is to try and stir up the white population so they can get sympathy. I'm pretty sure that's what their agenda is. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, let me put it this way. I don't think they sympathize with us whites in any way. They've made it clear from day one. ANC, BLF, and your
EFF.
favorite party, EFF.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want the whites. And they've said it how many times that they have not called for the killing and slaughter of the whites yet. And what does the rest of the world do? They sit and look at it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a nice thing to say.
And then the excuse will be, we didn't know.
What is nice and what's not nice. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
When Trump says something the other day, what did they say? Who's Trump? You got nothing to say, yeah? You're just as bad as the whites as in this country. And it falls on deaf ears. I mean, you got Julius Malema stands up and says he is the Jesus of this country. I mean, what is he doing now? He's starting to stir up the religion in this country now.
Mm.
Your worst wars in history have been fought over two things. Number one, religion. And the second thing was women.
Right.
Now, a lot of people are going to say to me, Gavin, now you've lost the plot. Go and research it. How did Troy fall?
Over a woman.
Yeah. And the next thing, so what's actually happening now, what you see now, and this is why I'm bringing this thing up. Not that I've got anything against women. I mean, my wife's my equal. But what I'm trying to say now is they've got this little party that's going down. They pushed women into power on the side there. So what they don't want to say now, they get the women to say. And Dlamini Zuma is the one that's actually saying now, okay, put it this way. Ramaphosa comes up and says cigarettes are going to be open. Dlamini Zuma comes in and says no ways, no more cigarettes.
So who's actually in charge?
Thank you. That tells me that the ANC is starting to divide already.
Yeah.
But now you'll get the Renwicks and you'll get all those that will come in and restore everything up, because remember, this is part of the New World Order now.
Right.
And Ramaphosa, through the SADC and the G20 and all that, wants to see the New World Order come in. And why does he want to come in? Because he's going to get super rich and everybody else underneath him is going to become super poor.
Yeah.
When I mean super poor, he wants everyone living in the squatter camp.
Yeah.
And then it becomes down to is whatever I say is law, and you'll accept it, because if you don't, you will not get a food parcel.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen now. Why do you think the world is starting to segregate us? We're already segregated. Social distancing. Come on. Have you ever had such bullshit in your life?
I agree with you.
COVID-19 thing is a form of the N1H1 COVID-2 flippant virus
Yeah.
that they've now called COVID-19. In the time frame that COVID-19 is people at deaths is 250,000 per the whole world. Just go and have a look at the stat. So how many people die of a common flu in this time, and it equals that.
Right.
So what is this thing so special? Yes, it is contagious, and yes, it is dangerous. Obviously it is. This is where it comes back to. This thing was genetically engineered somewhere along the line. China's got something to play with it, and some of the big powers. Bill Gates is one.
Yeah.
5G is another thing that we can come and debate for. We can have a long debate on 5G. It's radiation. What changes molecular molecules within the body? Radiation can change it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors. Now, since this has been happening, 5G is going up here at an alarming rate. So, what are they pushing down?
Yeah.
Look, Scott, I could be wrong. This is my take on everything.
Yeah. Now,
Until such time that somebody can come forward and say, I, Gavin Scrooby, have come up with this idea, and here's all the facts. And the world buys into it, and they have a look, and they do their own checks and balances at the end of the day, and come out and say, yes, this is what's happened. Prove me wrong until then.
Yeah.
You can't.
now we've got we've got about we've got about 1,000 people watching the live stream at the moment, which I think is a record for the channel. So congrats, guys. Now, if anyone wants to pose a question to Gavin, please just put it into the side chat, and if the moderators can just copy those, and then when we're ready, we'll take those questions and put them to Gavin. Now, what I'd like to turn to now, Gavin, is this issue with the food parcels. Now, I've got a discussion on, let me see, when is it? Wednesday night at 8 p.m. with Rene Roux, who is one of the people running Solidarity's Helping Hand. And we're going to be talking about this issue because Solidarity is actually taking the ANC to court over this food distribution situation. Do you want to give us your view on what they're doing, the ANC, when it comes to food parcels?
Like I said earlier, Scott, they're taking the food away from the whites to give to the blacks because they have said they would provide food parcels to everybody. Now, I mean, you and I both know South Africa is so down in the toilet already. Where are they going to find the money for this? Unless they're going to pay with toilet paper, I don't know. Take away from the whites and you can distribute another 10,000 packages towards something. So at least you got majority of the vote that can stand with you, or you can force your power onto them and say, well, look, during the time of need, who provided you with food? The ANC. You know, they're the glory boys. They're always the glory boys. But there's ways around this thing. Now you get Solidarity taking it. You know, it's going to fall on deaf ears. They're wasting money taking this government to court. The cigarettes have failed. The alcohol has failed. Everything is failed. BEE is failed. Going there and saying, but how can you just give to the black empowerment and not to the whites? Well, we can. It's only for the BEE. Now, how are you gonna fight that system? The government tells the judicial people, this is how it's gonna be, and this is how you rule on it. Even though we got a democratic society where we can say, right, there's laws written to protect everybody,
right,
and everyone has the right to be whatever it is. They've taken that away. Where's the international people that's come in now and say, listen, where's the international human rights?
Yeah.
You don't hear of them now. Now they're gone. They're non-existent. I'll tell you why. because they are as yellow as they can come. But any white stand up against a black anywhere in the world, and human rights will be on you like a ton of shit, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional about it now, but I have to. This is my people that's suffering here at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And why? Why should we take this BS? So, I've got a way around this thing. Don't take them to court. You're wasting your time and money. How much is it going to cost to take a court? 100,000, 200,000? I don't know.
So what's the solution?
200,000 rand, go and buy more food.
Okay.
So what happens now is, you come in to deliver a food parcel to me. You bring a receipt. I physically bought it. I paid 1 rand for it. How are they going to get past the law with that now?
So in other words, you're delivering food that they've bought.
Yes, that's it. And if it's a donor that's given it, so what? You got a receipt. Go and take them the receipt.
Okay, but what about the situation where you're delivering 200 food parcels? Because you've then got a huge amount of food on the back of a truck. You can have a receipt, but how are you going to explain delivering that food to one family? I mean, they're going to say that's ridiculous.
Okay, but let's say I'm a farmer now.
Yeah.
I sold that food package to you for 50 cents or a rand.
Right.
You are living in the poorest of poor conditions. How do you get that food from A to B? You got to rely on a transport business to take it through there.
Yes.
So, I take it and deliver it door to door for you. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money, but you know what? We're prepared to do it. So put a monetary value to something, a rand. By law, and any law anywhere in the world, if I bought your car, Scott, for a rand, that's a deal, money was exchanged, and no law can put that aside. You've given me a receipt for 1 rand for your car, and that's it. I've given you a food parcel to the value of 1 rand, and it might be 10,000 rands worth of stuff. Any law anywhere in the world, there's a financial transaction that's taken place, it is legally yours. No one can take it away from you.
Yeah, I just think that this issue with the food parcels and the way it's been handled by the ANC really needs to be out there with the mainstream media, because, as you said, it's against the Geneva Convention, and you know, it's just it's inhuman. You know what they're doing.
Correct, Scott. We are Executive Tacmed. We were approached by Fenders Post for assistance to provide security and safety for the people. We went in. Through that, we are providing safety. I can send you the voice clips now from the people involved, and I challenge any reporter anywhere in the world. You want the truth? Come with me. I'll give it to you out the horse's mouth.
Mm.
If you are any reporter out there that's worth your weight in gold, come and see me. Give me a buzz. I challenge you. I'll show you what's happening in this country. Don't take my say. You can do your own investigation and your journalism, whatever you need to do. I'll take you to the people and show you. We got involved because they were given food parcels in the community. When the whites were standing there, they said, this is not for you. I've got it on footage. Unfortunately, with the footage today, you got to look at it in 2 ways. Number one, the rights of those people that are standing there. I've already said to my people now already on the ground, when you deliver food parcels, what you give with the left hand, I don't want the right hand to know. You will not take footage of those people. And you'll not belittle them any more than they have been belittled already.
Right.
The little bit of dignity they've got standing there with their little food parcels and that sort of stuff. Now you must take a photo. You've broken everything down. All that trust, everything, because you're just another white guy trying to come in and get some sort of fame out of this. What do you want fame out of it for? This is not fame. You're not here for fame. Here are innocent people that are dying of starvation because they can't get food. Because the government won't give them food. What makes a black guy special to a white, or vice versa, when it comes to food, and especially little kids?
It's disgusting. It's
disgusting.
it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, my heart goes out to all those people who are starving in these white squatter camps. I mean, can you imagine? I try and put myself in their position. Okay, I'm in this white squatter camp. I can't get work. I'm supposedly in lockdown, and now I hear that there won't be any food coming because the government is now confiscating the food. They must be. I had an email from a fellow just 2 days ago, and he said, "You know what, Scott?" He said, "My brother committed suicide last week, and he's a farmer, and he was, he ran out of money. He's got a wife and got a couple of kids, and he went out and he played a game of golf. This is how crazy it is. He played a game of golf, and after he'd finished the game of golf, he hung himself on a tree." And this is happening in South Africa because people have just given up hope. It's just so sad.
Correct. I mean, you got people there that have given up their faith already.
Yeah.
They don't even have faith anymore.
Yeah.
People will say to you, "Oh, but he's a man of the house. Let him go out and do some work." If you go and look at the majority of these people that they're sitting with such big disabilities. They either got one leg or one arm or broken bones or whatever the case may be. To such an extent, they've never even they couldn't even get to a hospital to have the bones, set properly. They've grown all skew.
Well,
these guys have got to get out and try and provide an income for their family. How are they going to do it? They can't even stand on their own feet. They don't even have a wheelchair.
Well, you would know as a doctor how pathetic and how disgusting the public hospitals in South Africa are.
You know what, don't even get us started on that, Scott, because I tell you, it's gone from something to absolute trash. It's gone to trash.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's gone to shit. It hasn't even shit something, but it's gone to trash. You can't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
It's like an old plastic bottle that floats around all over. It takes years to decompose, and it also never goes away. So it's very difficult. It is very, very difficult. I mean, we've got one of our top senior ladies that's within our organization, Cecilia. She's the most fantastic person you've ever come across. She deals with this. She's part of our what we call a Kuns and Cultuur unit. She overruns that, and she's also our head admin.
Right.
She deals on this stuff on a daily basis. Now, listen, Scott, I've only been in nursing now for about 2 weeks. Okay. She's been in nursing now for a couple of years. You know what? I'm not going to tell you something now. If I had a hat on now, I'm going to take it off to that woman, because I'll tell you why. I am on the verge of cracking to see these people, how they are. How Cecilia has put it up for over these years, I don't know. And by the way, Scott, Vickers Pretorius is in Australia at the moment. That's Cecilia's brother.
All right.
Okay, he's also listening to us tonight, and he knows everything that's happening in South Africa. So, Vickers, I salute you, my brother. And another person is very interested in doing the medical course with us. So we got a lot of people from Australia that's looking at the whole thing. But okay, we're getting off the subject. But this is heartbreaking to see this. And if I can say they have lost everything in life, imagine how we feel seeing this. I mean, we come home here and we have a meal here. And my wife pushes a plate away and says, "You know what? Yeah, we got a plate of food. How can she eat this food when she knows our people are starving out there?"
Yeah.
She's 100% right. She's a fantastic woman. But, Scott, you got to come and see it to believe it. And I challenge any reporter anywhere in the world, come with us. We'll provide you the protection wherever you need to go. Come and have a look for yourself. And all that we're asking for you, we're not asking you to take sides. We just want you to be biased.
Be objective.
And look at both sides. Be objective, yes. And have a look and see what is happening. And I promise you, you'll see a different story coming out. What the rest of the world is going to do about it, I don't know. Because there is no country outside of South Africa that I can actually say are worth anything today.
Yeah.
because they proved themselves. During apartheid, they all jumped on a flippin' bandwagon and they flippin' shouted and screamed left, right, and center. Now that they've got what they want and it's turned the other way around, now it falls on deaf ears. Why? Because the whites deserve it. Why do we deserve it? What did we do to it? Those innocent kids that are starving could be their kids out there. What did they do with? What have they got to do with all the history of our past? Nothing.
Well, let me just tell you, Gavin. They couldn't care, and when I'm talking about they, I'm talking about the deep state, the people who actually run the the media and stuff like that. They couldn't care about kids. They are actually the Hitlers of the world today. They are causing so much death and destruction because they cover up things, and they, like Soros with his Open Society Foundation, they manipulate policy going through the ANC. They're controlling things behind the scenes, and people don't even realize this.
Correct. Scott, the last time you and I spoke, the highlight of that whole show was when my colleague from Britain, UK, phoned me after the show. Philippe.
Oh, Philippe, yeah, lovely man, yeah.
You know how much that guy restored me as a person.
Yeah.
To know that these international people that said, Gavin, we're throwing this stuff away, I'll take it. You know what? I'm even prepared to take the other country's garbage.
Yeah.
To look after my people here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What does that tell you at the end of the day?
Yeah, it tells you that you've got a government that doesn't know what it's doing.
Correct. I'm prepared to make do with anything that we get. We'll make it work in this country. We can make it work.
Yeah.
We are survivors.
Yeah.
And we will survive this onslaught.
Now, just talking about survivors, Isaac van Zyl, can you give us an update on his condition and what's happening there?
Yes, sure, I can. Isaac van Zyl is, he's got to come through. We're actually having him transferred to Gauteng from Mpumalanga tomorrow morning, so that he can get some decent help on this side. He's had a slight relapse this evening, and this happened just before you and I put on. So we've organised to have him sent off to be stabilised and just basically checked up at one of the local hospitals, and then just get him strong enough so that we can prepare him for his transport through to Pretoria tomorrow, where we can get some decent cardiologists working on him.
Right.
I was going to send him to the old Johannesburg General Hospital, but now I'd rather let him go through to Pretoria.
Now, just for those people who don't know, can you tell us who Isaac van Zyl is and what actually happened to him?
Yeah, sure. Isaac van Zyl is General Isaac van Zyl. He's the head of the Boerelegioen in South Africa. And last week he suffered a acute myocardial infarction, and he was stabilized and he was sent home the next day, and with minimum medication and that sort of stuff. And tonight he's not feeling so bright, so we decided now let's take him back and just get him stabilized so that tomorrow that we can get him off. I've got to tell you that Isaac is a very strong-willed person, and I think tonight he's actually found that we're not all how can I say, invincible. We're also human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I feel for him and his family at the moment, and it's frustrating because I'm nowhere near to get out to him and provide them the medical assistance that he requires. But I'm sure he's in capable hands at the present moment. I'm receiving updates as we go.
Right.
What is actually happening, and tomorrow we'll get him sorted out, get him up here, and then just get him some more professional help from our side where they can get to the root of the problem and do whatever it has to be done. Unfortunately, these sort of things come with a hell of a cost. It's unbelievable where medical costs have gone into this country. But Yeah, not everybody can afford it at the end of the day, but I'm sure the way that we've gone now, we're going to get him the best help that he can possibly get.
Right.
And I think I've got a lot of confidence in the people that will be handling it. And I don't want to mention what hospital and that sort of stuff, because unfortunately the family
Yeah.
is for the family to decide. But I've been given the okay to discuss this in brief, and this is where we're standing at the moment.
Right. Now, just to let you know, I've just had a couple of images come through on Skype, and that's what flashed on the screen below you, from Patrick of Farmers Aid. And he's an amazing man. He actually delivered food parcels today. And he's like, the underground back during World War II, the guys who were sort of like doing stuff underground, and he nothing's stopping him. He just goes out there, and the danger he faces if he gets caught doing this, and he hasn't got he hasn't got a permit for what he's doing. He's going to be paying 10,000 rand, and they're going to confiscate all his food parcels. So he's really an incredibly brave man.
You know what, Scott? Get that guy to contact me. With the organization, we'll assist that guy.
He's sending
And make
images
sure
through
that
right
he
now. A bunch of them.
And he can make, sorry, I can't see it on my screen on my side here, but let him contact me. Give him my number. You're more than welcome to. And then I'll even give it on air. I don't mind. We'll make sure that that guy, wherever he is, gets a necessary flipping
Support.
And
Great idea.
we'll provide the security for him, to
Yeah.
get his stuff through. And
Right.
let one person try intervene with that.
Yeah.
Let one person try intervene in that whole setup. We'll show you something that's going to happen soon, my friend.
Right. Okay, look, I'll definitely do that. We'll do that after the live stream. You can just give me your cell number, and I'll pass it on to Patrick, and he can contact you. Okay, now, I just want to say to everybody in the live stream, thank you so much for joining us. There's well over 1,000 people in here now. And we got a couple of questions that have come through. Please keep throwing those questions into the side chat, and the moderators will copy them and give them to us. Just looking ahead for this week, tomorrow, on the 5th of May, that's Tuesday, I'm speaking to Hein Marks of ULA. He runs ULA. Wednesday, I'm talking to Renee Roux. I've talked about Renee. She's one of the top people at Solidarity Helping Hand. Thursday, I'm talking to Des Palms of Cape Exit. And then on Friday, I'm talking to a fascinating man. I love people like this who've got such a fascinating knowledge. He's an old guy. He's an old fart like me. His name is Dan Berryman. And he's been a priest all his life. But he's going to blow the whistle on what actually goes on in these African townships. He's not shy to talk. He's going to be a very interesting discussion. Now, okay, so getting back to our subject here tonight, which is really where South Africa is. I think the other night you said we've gone beyond the tipping point.
Yes.
What does this situation with the food, what they're doing now, I mean, how does that escalate the situation?
Well, basically, you've got a lot of organizations like us now. I'm not even talking about the farmers, because there are millions of farmers that have opened their hearts and have given. And I don't mean farmers that say, well, there's all the runoffs in the field, go and pick them up and give it to the people. This is prime food, export quality, whatever it may be, that has been donated to our people.
Right.
Okay. What's actually up? You get organizations like us now that's going now and providing, I won't say a service, but providing some sort of relief for these people, and you're getting blocked to do it.
Yeah.
Where do you think our anger level runs? Why are you doing this? This is what we're trying to say to the government. What are you trying to achieve by not giving us what? It's our money. We can decide how much and when and whatever we take out of our pocket buy food, and give it to the underprivileged.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the world have you ever heard of that.
Do you think a
I
way?
mean, it's not even a joke. This is so flippant. You know what? You got to be downright damn evil for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever you want to call these people. I mean, they can't even call him barbaric because, barbarians in those days had also some sort of culture. These things have got no culture. They don't even have agriculture, man. I mean, they are... Come on. They were born and bred just to break things down. Sorry, if I pee anybody off, so I'll take it wherever you want. I'm tired of this shit already.
The ANC certainly were, that's for sure. Look what they did to South African Airways. Now, Tony has asked, please ask Gavin how we can help and join.
Executive Tacmed. Well, I think Brigadier Lamos will be able to put things on the side panel there for you now tonight. I know he's available and he'll put everything in for you guys.
Brigadier, could you put some contact or websites or information down there that people can use for Buralishion as well? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, they can, I think that'll be the best now at the moment. Or they could contact Cecilia as well. I know she's listening tonight. She can put everything on. You got Colonel Lizette, which is also a part of the admin. You can get hold of her as well. She'll put everything on tonight where you can contact us.
Right.
And the more the merrier. We always say be part of something. Rather be part of something than nothing. Be fantastic. Okay. We're just growing as a big family at the end of the day, and we support each other, and this is what it is. We start equipping each other, and we start passing on knowledge between us, and that sort of thing. Us old farts, like you say, we need to pass our knowledge down to somebody else at the end of the day. What's the use of us dying with all this knowledge? It's a waste of brain matter, man.
Yeah,
let's pass this on and get the younger generation moving.
Now, Richard Lemos is here. And he's given his email address. Now, Richard's a very good contact for anyone who's wanting to get in touch with Gavin's organization or with Buralishion. Okay, now he's just put the Buralishion details in there as well. Okay, so I've got another question here for you from Property Power. And the person asks Gavin, are the BL looking for younger men to train?
We're looking for all men to train, not just BL, but anybody. You've got to, once you come in, you're gonna have a type of military structured type of training. It's difficult. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But let me tell you something. It's only for 3 weeks. 3 weeks out of your life is nothing. Once you've done sort of the basics and that sort of thing, it gives you a little bit of an understanding of how the structure works, what rank formation is. And a lot of people say to you, but why you got ranks? Ranks bring normality back into a desperate situation. And what actually happens out of there is this. You learn to work with it and what the rank is and what the responsibility of those ranks are. So if you want to see yourself in my position in a couple of years, well, you know what? I challenge you to come and take it. And I don't mean it in a bad way. Come and take it. May the best man win out of you guys. Us well farts can still kick ass, believe me. We don't not call die hard for nothing. And once that is finished, then you can start specializing in the areas. If medically is not for you, Richard is there. He'll take you on the tactical side of things. And we got Chris Lessing, which is my 2IB, and or should I rather say the group's 2IB. And he does all reaction force. He does a lot of the tactical training as well. Our training formation, obviously, that's where you come in, where you train now for your medical stuff. There's administration you can get into. You can get part of, be part of the arts and culture. That's where Cecilia falls in. And believe me, you're going to come out feeling much better than what you were. You're going to feel you've accomplished something in life. And let me tell you something, this little bit of time will give you time to sit back and decide where you want to go in life. And we will equip you and help you with all the tools that we can to make you succeed in life. Now, I'll put anybody to the challenge of this at the end of the day. I promise you, you will walk away here feeling like a different person altogether. Somewhere where you can be in a position to help somebody that's in need, in dire need. You know, people don't always understand. For a medic to go out into the field and work with somebody that is shot to pieces, patch him up, and a year you're walking down the street and you think, oh, that face looks so familiar, and you actually look at the guy and the guy remembers you and says, you know what, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be walking today.
Yeah.
Just that inner peace that you get to know that you've saved someone's life. Not just a person, but all his loved ones around him, have got that joy that they've nearly lost somebody and they've come back to them.
Yeah.
That, my friend, is the first miracle that you see. This is why I say, I'm just a tool in the toolbox for God.
Yeah.
He works with his hands. He decides who goes and doesn't. That's what helps me with some of the patients that don't pull through. It's not for us to decide. It's God that decides that it's got the end decision at the end of the day. Does this guy come home or does he stay?
Yeah.
And these are the little things where you start feeling empowered by a higher authority. And you walk and you see miracles happening every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, we get people that have clinically been pronounced dead. They get into the morgue, they get out of off a trolley and off the gurney, and they walk out and explain those type of things. There's no explanation for that, man. Like, all I can say is God intervened somewhere along the line, and the person came out, and you dedicate yourself to God at the end of the day. He's giving you a second chance.
Yeah.
What he's saying to you, all you guys out there, we'll give you a second chance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old folks outside there. Don't tell me you can teach an old dog new tricks. You can. I learn every single day of my life. I wake up in the morning and I learn something new. And I'm trying to focus, Scott, on the positives.
Yeah.
Because regardless how much negatives are going on us, if we got people that are pinching our food parcels, so what? I'll buy another one and give it to my people at the end of the day. So that's a positive. And I will, and I'm determined to do it. That's a positive. So let's turn this thing into a positive and go. When you start working as a positive, you start picking your nation up at the end of the day, giving them that self-pride that they deserve. And when you start doing that, you uplift everything. And the people then start doing things for themselves, and they want to buy in. And when I say buy in, they want to do what you done for them. They want to give.
Right.
You must understand, our South Africans are a funny flipping nation. We see everything as a damn joke to a certain point, except with the ANC. Let's count them out now, what's happening in this country. But we do see the funny side of things. We're a strong nation. We'll pull ourselves up out of the dust. We'll reroot ourselves, and we'll sprout fruit at the end of the day.
Well,
so those are things that we've got to really look at, and those are the things we've got to concentrate on. And these people that are providing false news, don't let me catch you out.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. Yeah.
I would just say that there are two things here. When you give, you get. I mean, there's no question about that. And you get so many times more than what you actually give. It's a lovely feeling when that starts happening. And the other thing is...
If I can just stop you there.
Sure.
Do we live our life knowing whatever I give, I'm going to return back in sevenfold, and we're just going to wait around for it to drop out of the sky? I full-heartedly agree with you with a lot of things, but a lot of people today will use that in a negative sense. People today remember you for the bad things you've done. They don't remember you for the good things you've done. This is how us, and I don't mean us, I'm talking about us in South Africa, I mean in general in the world. This is how we've degraded to subhuman standards. We are nearly on an equal par with the ANC then, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
We've got to look at ourselves and uplift ourselves. Why are we in this situation, man? Lift yourself up. Let's become a caring nation again. I mean, somebody could get shot here next door. All right, we'll run outside to go and see what has happened and assist. In most cities internationally, they don't even bother. Well, it's not our house, so why should we worry? It's okay. You know what I mean? This is the liberal way of thinking now.
Yeah.
And I take pity on them at the end of that, because let me tell you something, when the shit hits a fan here, those are the ones that are going to suffer the hardest. And let me tell you something, I'm going to sympathize with them as much as what I sympathize with my people that's suffering at the moment.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be suffering psychologically.
Well, I always say that have a plan B and also be prepared. And I think what you were talking about just now, where you said, look, if they come in and they do the training and they become involved in the organization, they're basically cementing their position if and when, and I'm pretty sure it's a case of when, the ANC collapses. Yeah, carry on.
I'm going to disagree with you there. No plan B. It's plan A.
Okay.
You have a plan, you work to that plan. If you've got a plan B, it takes your focus off your plan A.
Well, it's plan A or plan B. It's just a one plan.
That's it. Go. And that's how you go.
Yeah. When I talk about a plan B, I'm talking about something that you can do if the shit hits the fan. So, you've got your normal life, which is plan A, but plan B is being prepared to make a move and do something.
I'll give you that. Yeah, fair enough. Definitely. But if you are, it's like an arrow, my friend. Yeah. Once it's actually pulled back and it's in flight, it can't turn unless it's deflected. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's on target and it's moving towards its target, and that's how we got to think today. Right. I know. A lot of times when you got a plan B, you end up more focused on plan B than what you are on plan A. But you're running plan A because that's your plan, and sometimes it never actually materializes. And you sit back and say, "But hell, I've done such a lot of planning on this." And then you sit and think about it, and you say, "How much time did I devote on plan A? Where I should, I've actually done it on plan B. I should have focused on plan A." Hmm. And this is where we've got to be so careful at the end of the day. When we make a decision, it's got to be a rational, direct decision, and not from the heart, from the brain. Right. And that's how you got to function in life today. Okay, it's like if I come back to do something to fix somebody, or we operate, or whatever the case may be. If you are fixated on the problem will be solved. Yeah. I've got a couple of questions here for you. Gina Callitz has asked, could you please supply the banking details for donating money towards General Isaac van Zyl's medical costs? Have you got an account that people, would that be on the Boereligion website, do you think? That yeah, look, I don't have Boereligion's account number, but I'm damn sure if they got onto the site, or I'll be 100% sure someone from BL will actually put something on now.
Yeah, if you can just put those details into the side chat, and Gina, if you could just have a look at that. And Talita has asked, she also says, God is my plan A, which is a very good way to go.
Fantastic woman.
And Talita also says, Dr. Gavin, do you have other doctors on your team with Boereligion?
Okay. The problem is with us doctors, a lot of doctors are so liberal. I know there's a lot of doctors that are from my area that we've gone through what I've gone. I'm one of those that fell off the train line and went somewhere where it shouldn't be going. Yeah. I know my dad's listening tonight, and he's going to agree with me that I fell off a train tracks a long time ago. So, military was sort of my background. I was a military nut most of my life. And a lot of the doctors, my area, that came in, went, done what they had to do, done their 2 years and got out of it and just carried on with their practices and stuff. And are doing pretty well today. So their way of thought is not the same as mine. I feel for my nation. I feel for everything. The younger generation, well, look, they worried about their cars and all that sort of stuff. So bringing them in, I'm not saying there won't be any, but there isn't it. But at the moment, I can say to you now, within the alliance, there might be a handful. And I think I can count them on my end. Right. It's very difficult. So, when the popo hits a fan, yeah, I don't know who's going to be able to be in the operating room. I don't know who's going to be general practitioner. I don't know how we're going to do it, but somehow we're going to have to get it done. But if there's any doctors out there and that they're listening to me and they want to be part of it, please, I invite you.
Well, I'll definitely be suggesting to those 300 doctors that I'm talking to that they look at what you're doing as an option just going forward.
That'll be fantastic, Scott, and I know, and I've got the confidence that you'll be able to pull it right. I know you can do it.
I'll certainly try. I'll certainly try. Now, Marlena says, where is it? I've already sent Patrick and Gavin email and Gavin's contact number. So I think we've got that information. So people can probably just email you, and then you can give the banking details for Isaac. That might be the better way to go.
Again, like I said, remember, I'm not BL. We are part of an organization that's
Right.
part of everything. So let me just quickly explain it to the people that don't understand.
tell us the whole situation.
I think that's fair. The Executive Tacmed group is an individual group that comes in to supply medical needs to the Alliance. Now, the Alliance is part of all the right-wing groups or conservative right-wing groups, and I'm trying to put it in words as you guys understand it. So I know I'm going to stand on a few toes now because a lot of people are going to say, we're not right-wingers, we're conservatives. Okay, fine. What actually happens is, like Boerelegion will be one of them. You got BFN and you got VFS and you got all these other groups that are part of an alliance. We only a little part of this. So whatever groups are in this organization is they got their own politics. We got our own politics. So we don't get involved with their politics, but we come together under one umbrella. An Executive Tacmed group has got a core function that we are there for your medical needs. And that's how we work within the organizations. So guys, if I don't have the necessary contact numbers and stuff like that for the other groups, it is not for me to give out those contact numbers, and I don't mean it with any disrespect.
Right.
I think as a loyal entity that is providing a professional service to a big organization or little organizations, makes a difference. It is just ethically right that we don't divulge that sort of stuff out, be it for security reasons, be it whatever the case may be. People don't like their names spread out on social media. Hein Marx will be on soon, and it's going to be a very interesting discussion that you're going to have, because I can say that with honesty, he is part and parcel of one of the alliances that we are involved with.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that's basically, if that can explain everything in a nutshell to the viewers out there, then I think I've achieved what I've had to do tonight. So I don't mean it in any disrespect to any group or to any person out there.
Yeah.
We feel that we are, us as Executive Tacmed Group, is part of the alliance, and we also are part of the, as a goodwill ambassador. So if there are parties that are not communicating with each other, we feel we have the need to pull those parties in and then to discuss a way forward.
Great.
Remember, like we discussed last time, all our foundations are the same. It's just the walls that are all different. And once we break the walls down, we all find that our foundations are exactly the same and what we stand for. And then from there, we can start building up.
Well, Eendracht maakt macht, let's face it. Now, I've got a couple of questions here for you. Morne van Zyl says, ask Dr. Scrooby, we keep saying when we get to the point. Where is that point? Where is that point when we start pushing back?
I'll tell you, very easy. The minute they fire the first shot, we're in, boots and all.
And you mean right across the country?
Right across the country. This thing will spread like a wildfire. Will have nothing compared to us. Because why? We are standing united, and we will not see one brother fall.
Yeah, and I can tell you now that the South African Police Service, I'm pretty sure that the black cadres who are in the police service will be heading for the hills. They'll be running like mad.
They better be running. But now, you know, Scott, this brings us to another thing. We talk about the SAP and how bad they are and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of diehard policemen there. There are dedicated policemen.
Absolutely.
Like I wanted to become a doctor my whole life. He wanted to become a policeman his
Yeah.
whole life. Like a guy, a fireman. Firemen and all that sort of stuff, I see them as my brothers. You know what I mean? The police that are in this for the right reasons, I applaud you, 100%.
Yeah.
And I know what they're going through. But then you get the other side of the police that are in there just for a political agenda. You know, they were the tea girl tomorrow and tomorrow, now they're in charge of the whole thing. They got no clue what's happening. You know what I mean? And these are the people that you're dealing with on a daily basis. They can't even count to 2.
Yeah.
You know, so where do we take it from there? I know what I'm saying now is hardcore, but I challenge you. Go and see for yourself. I think any South African that's on this program tonight knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
And, you know, just go in a police station today. If he's there for a political agenda, you, even though you're first, you'll wait until last.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he'll leave because he's on tea break. So, yeah, I say, if you're there for the right reasons, stand with us, because we stand for the law, what's right.
Absolutely.
But if you've got a political agenda, then go and join your brothers on the other side, because you are going to fall with them.
Yeah.
And these guys that are over, when this thing's over, will be able to have the top positions at the end of the day, because they have earned it, they've worked for it, they have many years service to the South African police services.
Right. Now, Ray Sergio has asked, where can we get the contact details of that children's home? Okay, well, I can give you the name. I'm sure, in fact, I know you can find it on the internet. The children's home is called Abraham Kriel, that's Kriel, Children's Home, and it's at Nailstrom. And the manager there is Wynand Klaassen. So he's the guy to speak to directly. And that's where the 170 kids are. Okay, now, is there anything you'd like to address to people watching the live stream at the moment, Gavin? We got well over 1,000 people still watching right now.
Fantastic. And you say we hit the record tonight. Eh?
We hit the record tonight, yeah.
Obviously, I'm doing something right.
You are.
For you guys. I've always got a lot to say, Scott, and you know me by now.
I do.
When it comes to my nation and that sort of stuff. Okay.
Sure.
All the people that's outside there, regardless what group you belong to, if you do or don't, or let's approach the don'ts. You are an individual, you don't belong to anything. Belong to something. It's a support network you will not find anywhere else in life. You might have good friends, you might have nothing, but when the pauper hits a fan, let me tell you something, your friends are gone. Okay, number one, be part of a organization, regardless who they are. Number two, when you are part and parcel of a group, you're going to be trained and equipped. And mentally, by training and being equipped, we are physically and mentally training you to be able to adapt to what is about to come. Okay, whenever it happens. The third thing is the most important thing I want to bring, and this is to all my sister groups out there. I'm appealing to all the group leaders, the 2 IBs, the 3 IBs, and the admins, or whatever the case may be. The time for us to unite is now. I don't care what squabbles you got with me, or I've got with you, or whatever the case may be, and I'm using myself because I don't want to use anybody else. Put your interests aside. Put your own egos aside. And if I can say this in Afrikaans, kry julle vetkoppe uit die wolke uit. Get your fat heads out of the clouds.
Yeah.
And start thinking why you started this group, my friend. Is it for your personal gain, or is it for ons volk that is struggling and suffering at the moment? Let us unite as one and come together as one voice. As one voice, be it how many we are, we'll be heard over mountains. But as an individual, you will not make it. Hate me tonight, love me tonight, your choice. But you will not make it. I know what I'm saying tonight is very harsh words. But I think somewhere outside here, inside is that little voice saying, Gavin is right. And I know I'm right. This has been playing on my heart for a long time now. God above instructs us and asks us to do many funny things. In the last 3 weeks, I've never felt about my nation as what I do as I am there tonight. And I'm standing here as a humble man, not as a doctor, not as a brother or a son or whatever, but as a humble man in front of you guys to say, let's leave our shit behind. Let's unite as one. Scott just said it just now. Eendrag maak mag. In unity, we stand strong. Divided, we will fall. You choose. Thanks, Scott.
No problems. I've got a couple more questions, which we'll just run through quickly. How can women help the organization?
Whoa, women, you play. You know what? You ladies play a massive role. Now, I don't want the ladies to get me wrong here. When it comes to wartime, my wife, I've wanted to pack up and send back to Germany or somewhere where I can get to safety. And she turned around and said, I'm standing next to you. You know what? I've never had a prouder day in my life.
Yeah.
Now, ladies, don't get me wrong what I'm going to, because I know the ladies are very quick to lose their temper. But let me tell you something. I'm privileged to work with some of the best women in the world within our organization. Women have gotten this thing where, I don't know if it's through the old days how it goes and that, but ladies and that have changed today. You play just an important role as what I do in this group. This group, we have a very strong bonds and relationships with everybody within our group. We are one big family, brothers and sisters. I've got females and women in our organization that show the men tactically and show them up well. And I love it. Women are ruthless. You think men are ruthless in the time of war? You ain't seen nothing yet when you put a weapon in a woman's hand. Especially when she knows her brood is standing somewhere behind her. They are like chickens, like mother hens. And within our organization, you can choose where you want to go. If you want a senior position and you've got the qualification, you can have it and you can run it. And you've been trained in it. Remember, we run a professional organization, so as according to your rank structure is your degree of professionalism. And we take people from the bottom, where we give you first aid, and we actually build you up from there. We are looking at women to look at on childbirth. We're looking at women to do, we're basically looking at women to do a man's job. We have to look at it. And a lot of these times now, we find that women are more in numbers than what men are. What men have become today, I don't know. I look at in the social media today, and I look at myself and I say, is that a chick or is that a guy? You know what I mean? I doubt myself. Scott, I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
If you take umbrage to it and you're one of those other okies,
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it.
I don't get it.
You know, if you want to watch a good bar fight tonight, go and watch two chicks fight. Yes, they're in Mexico, 11 clap. Men scratch and pull people's hair out. I mean, come on. I've never seen it in my life. But you know what? You go, woman. You're strong.
Yeah.
But they come and meet us in the groups, and you'll see. You know what? And as strong as they are, they can turn. They're always a flower.
Yeah.
And always beautiful, and they always know what to do. And once they put that party dress on, it's like chup chup. You say, "Wow, is this the same woman that just fought next to you?" You know, it's like, wow. Now, let me tell you something. It is stunning. Our South African women, don't give them cockwood. You're gonna get black someday. So yeah, ladies, please come forward. We've got plenty spots open for you guys. Wherever you want to be. If you want to be in teaching, you can be in teaching. If you want to be in medical, you can be in medical. You want to be a part of logistics or finance or whatever, we've got professional people that run our finances. So everything's on a straight and narrow. We've got traceability, we've got accountability, and the bank balance always looks healthy, and that's what we need. During a time of war, it costs money to make war.
Right. Now,
those things.
I've just got to add to what you're saying about women, and I'm going to make Marlena blush, but Marlena is a very special lady. You've spoken to her, Gavin, on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
She's an absolute dynamo, and I love her to bits. I mean, she is the work she does for the Loving Life channel, and in particular for the live streams, is quite extraordinary. And I just want to say in front of everybody, Marlena, thank you so much. You are an absolute angel. Now,
definitely.
Getting back to some of the comments and questions that have been made, Rika Grayling says, a friend of mine needed to take food for her daughter in Potchefstroom. They're from Krugersdorp. They struggled to get a permit and eventually went, but got fined in Potchefstroom by police 2,000 rand. Is there help?
Okay, let's face facts. They took law into their own hands and they went from one province into another province. Yes, that is illegal. But with a network, this is the beauty of having a network. She could come to us, and I'm not far from her. I stay in Randfontein, and we can travel towards each other because we're not out of the province. And we could have put it through one of our guys to go and deliver a food parcel there by them. It wouldn't have been a problem. We work nearly similar towards how the old Knights Templars used to work. So if you know how they function, then you know how we function. They had a fantastic scheme, and it works. And come forward, come talk to us. Be part of us if you want to, or don't. It's fine, but we'll definitely make sure that you and your loved ones get what they deserve on the other side. And we've got in most of the provinces where we don't have, and this is the beauty about it, Scott, we communicate through the alliance.
Right.
And this is the beauty about it, because we can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's how we function.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So
look, I feel for you, you've lost 10,000 rand, but you know what, you took the law into your own hands, and I do understand what happens is, because you know what happens, your heart started overruling your head, and this is what happens. Guys, don't fall into that trap, please. They are deliberately breaking the law. If they are deliberately breaking the law by taking our food parcels away. Okay, so we got a right to work, and we got a different network to do. So we're just working a little bit smarter. That's all we do.
Right. Now, there are a couple of people here who've asked very similar questions. I'll just put those to you. Charlotte Smith asked if ETMG will need retired nurses. And Tramp says, I'm a retired nurse, and as we all know, once a nurse, always a nurse. Nothing can untrain you if you're properly trained. Now, I guess the question here is, well, I think you said it, you know, the strength of women in the organization. It really doesn't matter how old someone is. They can, you know, join and become a nurse within the organization. Is that correct?
Correct. And you know, Scott, the beauty about that is I implore those people to come through, because you know what happens. the knowledge those people have got. They've got years and years of experience. They've got so much experience that the younger generation that's coming through now as qualified nurses don't even have what the elder generation has got in it. Come forward, because what happens is, remember, in a time of war, or whatever the case may be, I say war, and it's an ugly actual thing. We should actually put it as a skirmish, whatever you want to call it. But there's no fact there's going to be a time of war. We will have field hospitals set up. And we need the old sisters and the old nurses to run those things. And they die all day, and you don't get away with them. I mean, they keep us on our toes. And there's always place for them, no matter how old. You can be 90, I don't care. You are welcome on our team at any time. You'll be the granny of the team, but you'll be my granny. And that's
Okay, guys, I'm going to be shutting down the live stream shortly, so if you've got any questions you want to give to Gavin, now's the time to put them up. Sean says, it's not when the first shot is fired, it's when they start destroying the Voortrekker monument. If there was that, if something like that happened, I mean, that would be the end, wouldn't it?
Oh, come on, guys. Let's face facts. What's a life got to do over flipping a Voortrekker monument? A monument's a monument. If I break it down tomorrow, we rebuild it bigger and stronger tomorrow.
You don't think the Afrikaners would revolt if that happened, though?
Listen, let me tell you something. Of course, everybody will revolt. But the whole thing boils down to is if one of us goes down, it's one too many. Then you got shit on your hands.
Yeah.
You come down. Let me tell you something. Do you want to die for this ground? Because tomorrow, regardless who wins, this ground will still be here. It's not going anywhere. But you drop one of us, and we're coming after you. Remember, a life takes superiority over everything.
Yeah.
It's God's creation.
Got that. And
that's how you got to look at it, guys. Forget about your monuments. Because if it's a monument that killed them in that time, then you're highly mistaken. Then we should chop that monument down and put a white horse up there. Because Toyota has killed more of them. That's why they're called high-ace buses, high-impact African culling equipments. Come on, guys. If you want to get that way, like must get that way. Let's use our nuggets, and I don't mean it with any disrespect to the guy, but you know what? That's brick and mortar.
Yeah.
You can break that down.
But
you harm one life, you harm one hair on my people's head, and you'll have to do with me, my friend.
Yeah. Now, Malina's asked, Scott, please let the doc explain the difference between Boerelichian and ETMG and how they fit together.
Very easy. Sorry, the lady's name was again?
Marlena. The lady you spoke to earlier.
Hey, Marlena. Marlena, very easy. You know what you guys are focused on. You are a burgermacht. Okay. We are a medical unit. We provide for all your health needs. And if you shot or you need patching up, we the guys are going to do it. Boerelichian can't do that. So we got one up on Boerelichian because we can do that. But we can also defend ourselves because we've got our own defense people within us. We got to have our own people within us, and I mean this with no disrespect, that look after us. You guys have got a different role outside, on the front line or wherever you're going to be. Remember, our medical force is going to be behind you and with you all the time. Okay. The only time, and you must remember this very clearly now, we might be a medical unit, but we are first soldiers. Until such time that people start dropping, is then only then, under supervision and under the time when it is provided for, so in other words, when it is safe to withdraw to look after your patient and to get him back and then come forward again. This is what happens. This is the role of the ops medics. Ops medics are in there and they are with the fight all the time. And then what happens is, as it rolls back, and as you move forward, we move forward, and we just work like a tank chain. It's constantly on the move, and it's constantly supported by the next link, and that's how we run. The same with logistics, how you try and get logistics in, which is a different department. We got our logistics, you got your logistics. Your logistics can't work with our logistics because, number one, we're carrying different stuff, different setups. You got your logistics is food, water, ammo. Ours is medical equipment, food, water, ammo, and food for the sick. Plus, we've got the chefs that's got to come on with us and all that sort of stuff. So that's the whole formation when you look at it in a nutshell. Does that explain, Molina? I hope it does.
I think so. Yeah, so I certainly think that does. Now, Richard, could you put your email address again in the side chat? Because there are a couple of people asking how they can join ETMG and Borrelition, because they can just contact you and you can point them in the right direction. Okay, now I've got two final questions for you, Gavin, and it's been again a wonderful evening. I've really enjoyed it. You're a fantastic guest. Anonymous says, Gavin, is like to know privately in which areas. Okay, I'll just try and make that question more. Okay, he wants to know where you have teams set up, and obviously who and where to go once this goes pear-shaped. Anywhere we could talk privately.
Of course. I'm open. My house is open. My surgery is open. You can come and talk to me anytime. We can't go out for coffee. That's closed down. So
yeah.
Give me a buzz. Give me a buzz. Well, I'm going to actually say, if Richard's on and is listening to me now, Richard, put my number on. Let them phone me direct. I don't have a problem with that.
Richard, did you get that? If you could just put Gavin and then phone and then his number, that'd be great.
Yeah, more than welcome to phone me. We in a lot of places. I don't want to divulge where we are now at the moment. Right. I don't think it's a good strategy.
No, don't say anything.
Me, I'll put you in the right place. If I'm not there, I'll put you in contact with one of the alliance groups that you can be involved in, unless you want to do medically. Not a problem. But if you're not, and you've got some sort of medical knowledge or want to get medical knowledge, we'll put you in a place, and then you can start building your own teams up. How's that?
Right.
And with our support and our infrastructure, you can't basically go wrong. We've worked very hard on this for years, and it's working.
Okay, now Heinrich asked, Dr. Gavin, when are we having a training weekend?
The minute lockdown is finishes. But if we can, I think if we're on stage 4 now at the moment, if we can go to stage 3, Chris and myself will be debating this whole thing soon and seeing what we can come up with, some sort of permit that we can get the people together. Bear in mind, we do have the approval of the police, and we do work with the Ramfontein police station. So we've got they have sanctioned us to have a mandate with them on the more specialized things. So we can approach them, I think, once things get a bit laxed, and we can get the necessary permits to get you guys to come out here to do the training. This is the beauty about our training. We can still train keeping our social distance. So it's vitally important that we remember that as well. Because remember, anything else, we will be breaking the law. We work within the realms of the law. Just remember that.
Right. Now, I just need to clarify something, and that is that, like Gavin, I think most of the police do a fantastic job. The trouble is you've got some bad eggs in there who do the wrong thing, and they get caught out, and they're destroying the reputation of what the police service used to be by their actions. I mean, that is self-evident, and I just want to clear that up, because I totally get it that most police do a fantastic job. Correct. Now, Richard, I'm going to make your question the last one. Okay, I see that your phone number's just been posted up there by Richard. Richard Etheridge asks, question for Dr. Scrooby, do you utilize PDF electronic books to produce training manuals linked to training videos? If not, can I have your email address, please?
You're more than welcome. I think Richard has posted up there. I'd love to have all that electronic stuff. I would love to have it, but you know what? Finances just don't have it.
Yeah.
If I had it now, I can promise you now, I'll have 1,000 people trained by the end of this year. Um, it is very difficult for us, and financially it's very difficult. You must remember, everything we do in this group is either our own time it's put into this, and I think Natalie will be able to concur with me tonight that the money that you spend on the group is just, it's just stupid. But what are we doing it for? Remember, if something happened to me tomorrow, I could never take the bit that I got with me. It will never work. So, you know, if we had some sort of electronics and that, we do try and Skype people if we do have problems and that sort of stuff. You must remember, these computers of mine, I don't know how old they are. I think they're still running on paraffin, not even power paraffin. So, I don't think they make electricity for it anymore. That's how old the stuff is. So, yeah, for me to get up and running, it takes me about an hour just to kickstart this thing, and then Eskom takes a dump because of it. Scott, I told you, we got to see the human somewhere along the line. But yes, if we can get that, but I'll be honest with you, I'm born BC, and that's not before Christ, please guys, that's before computers. This stuff here is gibberish to me. I know what to do, what I have to do with it, but that's it. But if somebody says do this, if somebody says boot it, it's out the door. You know what I mean? You boot it, let's boot it. So I'm very challenged. I'm very set in my old ways, but there's reasons why. And I'm always glad I did, because if we do come up with a time of war, we're not always going to have this fancy stuff to run our stuff. We're going to go back to the basics that we're going to have to be utilizing.
Absolutely.
And this is what I always say, even with the medical, come back to basics.
Yeah. Now, Richard, if you just contact Richard, same name, whose email address is on the side chat there, he'll be able to put you directly in touch with Gavin. And I think Richard's put Gavin's phone number in there as well, so you can just phone him direct. Okay, I'm going to ask one final question, and then we're going to shut down the live stream. Ruben Graup has asked, can I get training while I study?
Of course you can. We got people that come here weekends. They give up their weekends to come and get training. And if you can't come weekends and you can come after hours, I will make the time to ensure that you get the training that you want. How's that? I'm dedicated to what I want to do. I'm not in this position just because I want to be here. I'm here because I find that I can dedicate my time to you guys. And if you're willing to put in the time, so am I.
Fantastic. All right. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the moderators who control the side chat. Without you, we couldn't have a side chat because we get the occasional troll who comes in, and I'm too busy talking to the guest to know what's happening in the side chat most of the time. For the many viewers who've joined us tonight, thank you so much for being part of this live stream. Remember, we have one every night at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time. And we got one every night this week with very interesting people. We discuss very interesting subjects. Please come and join us. And please remember to subscribe to the Loving Life channel and to the Loving Life 2020 channel. There are two channels. And remember to ring the bell, because if you don't ring the bell, you won't get the updates when I put up a video. And so to all those people who've joined us tonight and people who watch this video later, thank you so much for taking the time to meet an extraordinary man, Dr. Gavin Scrooby. I mean, it's always a delight talking to you, Gavin, and you know, what you're doing is fantastic work, and just keep it up. All right, with that said, I'm going to be shutting down the broadcast now. Please, guys, stay safe as always, and I hope to see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Johannesburg time. We're talking to Hein Marks from the ULA. It's going to be a very interesting discussion under these times. Okay, take care, guys. Bye for now.
Well.